Hello, humans. Master DinnerFlax here, bringing you the low quality content you deserve. And today I'll be going over the deck. I believe I posted it yesterday. I come up with the name. I call it the Trash. Now, if you couldn't figure out why I call it that, it's literally a heap of cards. They, in theory, have no synergy with each other, which as it turns out, they actually have a little more synergy than you would think. It's just, it's kind of cluttery. Like, certain engines need to draw this specific card for it to synergize well. And there were a few changes I want to make to this deck. I think I explained this before, but there's the Dark Lord engine, which I guess I'll separate these by engines now. But if you didn't get a look, if the shaky, crappy video yesterday didn't give you an idea of what I was playing, this should. And I think that's it for the Dark Lord stuff. There's the Dark Lord engine. Here's the Dragon engine. The Warrior engine, which I think the most immediate change I'm making is that the Warrior engine needed oh, here's Rhoda. It needed a search target. Oh, I guess it is part of the Warrior engine as well. It needed a search target for Isolde, and what I mean by that is it just needed a random extra name that was a starter, but after I was done starting, I can just search it. Not to do anything with it, but for it to be like discard fodder or allure fodder, because this deck can run out of hand advantage pretty quick. So I really do need a search target for it. And I think the first one I came up with was Vion. So that's probably what's going to be in there. Okay. Then next, I guess the rest of this is kind of like extras. Snow is for can't think of the name. It's for Curious. And then these are the GX token spammers. This card's insane when you draw it with Dragon Shrine, I should say, because that's an instant link for. The birds, they're okay. Zephyros is like to bounce your own Fog Blade. Steam is pretty nice because he's a body that makes a body when he leaves. So he's like actually okay to normal summon if you didn't need to normal summon, so that's pretty cool. I don't know, he's pretty solid. And these, if you like have one of these, you can get the other with Summon Sork. Side deck probably needs a lot of work. I never used the side deck when I went to locals, so there's no idea to know what I want. Extra deck. There's no Phoenix in here. Not Phoenix, Unicorn in here, because I don't have one, but I can get one if I need to, but I don't really know if there's any point for me to get one with this extra. Probably to have later for a different deck, but this extra deck seems really tight. From the fields I was making, it wasn't like insane. The fields were never insane. They were just good, and they could always last till the next turn where you could just kill them. And it was really odd fields. Like it was like Borreload, the Phantom Night Link, maybe Curious, or it was like Phantom Night Link, a bunch of Fog Blades, and then like one or two random links, and maybe a Dark Lord that can recycle a trap. It's really odd. Like there's no end goal to anything that you're doing. So, I guess the first thing I need to do is Vion. This is the search target I want for the Warrior, for Isolde. I think I explained this with the Dragon Engine too, that playing 2 Dark Worm defeats the whole purpose of why it was in here in the first place. The only benefit you get from having more than one is if you draw one, you can make an entire pendulum scale with either the Gate 0 or Gate Infinity, which seems cool, but that also seems really bricky. I don't know. And there's no Tomahawk package in here either, because there's like no room in the extra deck. I think I was playtesting some theories with it. In order for all my theories to work, the extra deck was like 38 or 39 cards. Like that doesn't work. Like the extra deck's way too tight on a deck that doesn't know what it's trying to do. So Vion is like the first step. So Supreme King. So I could either go all in with the Darkborn package, or I can just make it to where what I originally wanted, where it's just like an extra summon with Dragon Shrine. But if I do that, Dragon Shrine itself is going to need another target, and Diabolos just doesn't work because there's only Steam the cloak to do that, and that's just not enough. I don't think there's any other dark dragons or light dragons that benefit from being in the graveyard, like except Eclipse Wyvern, but it's not very reliable to depend on something like that in here. A third Sky Blaster might be interesting. So let's just remove this side deck for a moment, because I want to figure out how this should look. And in the comments, let me know how you want to see this deck turn out. So let's put in a Phantom Sky Blaster. Alright. 3 seems really solid. I mean, it's a 60 card deck, so it's not like you're going to draw multiples easily, and it's not like you're going to draw it in inconvenient hands. What else? Oh, so if I'm maxing out on this, I could also increase the number of Destrudos and play Tomahawk package. But the Tomahawk package is very much like the Grinder Golem package, where you have to devote slots in your extra deck that only accommodate that, which I don't like very much, because like with Grinder Golem, even though it's a 1-of, which makes it much less reliable, the only thing that's actually a requirement for it in here is Akashak. And I've actually used Akashak in non-Grinder Golem ways. So, but with Tomahawk, you got to play like Reproducus and Space Insulator to turn it into Curious, or you got to like play Proxy Dragon. Link Spider would be in here anyway, so it would also be like Proxy Dragon, Space Insulator, and then you can make Saryuja. So you see why I don't like it. And that's not even including the Meteor Burst you have to play and the Tomahawk you have to play. So I'm pretty sure I just don't want to do that. I do want this in the side deck regardless. Yazi and Mermere. And probably a Black Rose to go with this. Black Rose. So, you're all familiar with the Mermere thing. So, you make Yazi with Destrudo, and then after you do that, you pop one of their cards using this as your side of the pop, and then you'll summon Mermere from the deck, and you'll either make a big link or you can make Black Rose. If you're making Black Rose, you just blow up the field and you got rid of everything. But at the same time, if you're in that situation, you can kind of just make Black Rose. It's usually, Yazi is usually there to like bait negations. So Black Rose is kind of only for situations where your opponent has negations that destroy on resolution. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's see what else. So Dark Door, hold on. Door has door in its name. Alright, Contract Door. This is another interesting choice. So I'm not too confident in this card, but it has the ability to search 2 of the Dark Lords, Destrudo and Grinder Golem, which Grinder Golem is what you're really trying to search with this. But like if you're giving them a Dragon Shrine, Grinder Golem no longer becomes as good. It's much better to use the Dragon Shrine, summon Dark Worm, and then Grinder Golem there, because it's like I said, until we get Security Dragon, Grinder Golem is always missing like 1 or 2 bodies to be really good. So that's kind of a thing. And the only other thing I can think of is the Dark Creator right here. So the Dark Creator, you could search this card, but if you never learn the problems of this card, so its effect itself is actually insane. It's an insanely powerful effect. It's pretty much once per turn you can banish a dark from your grave, summon a dark from your grave, any dark, which is insanely powerful. The issue is you have to summon them when you have 5 or more darks in your graveyard, which that's not too hard, but you have to do it while you control no monsters. That's where it gets kind of tricky, because this deck can send a whole bunch of darks to the grave pretty easily. However, the real issue is going to be doing it with an empty field, which is kind of the flaw of this card and why it's not very well designed, or it's kind of overbalanced, is that you need to be established while at the same time establishing nothing for this to work. But the Dark Lords kind of do that, kind of funny enough, because they just, like Ixchel, just sends 2 to the grave to draw 2. Back in the old days, you would Norala's your entire field top deck, the Dark Creator with Lavalval Chain, then summon it that way. That was a thing back then, and yeah, it's just like you need to establish a lot while establishing nothing at the same time. However, with Grinder Golem, there's an interesting thing you can do. So if you don't know, Grinder Golem is a 1-card Curious, because you summon it, get 2 tokens, make it Akashak, bounce it, summon 2 more tokens, tribute 1 of the tokens for Link Karibo, and you will have a Fiend token, Link Karibo, Cyverse, and then Spellcaster. And then you make Curious. And when you're in that situation, what you want to do is you want to leave the Grinder Golem you're summoning to your opponent in attack position, because that means once you do that, you're going to send something like the Dark Creator. It could be anything. And once you send the Dark... Let's say a much better example is Evenly Matched. So you go into battle phase, attack into your own Grinder Golem, crashing the Curious. Then you'll grab back Evenly Matched into battle phase, banish everything face down. So that's a theory you can do, but Dark Creator has that same application where it's like, if you send it with Curious, not even to do that, but just to send it in general, pretty much means that it's like sending Soul Charge with Curious, because the Dark Creator it's a reborn that is non-restrictive, but it's a reborn that also, like, it puts itself on the field with its pretty high stats, and then gets you another thing, and that's really, really strong. And, like, you can't do it with, like, Soul Charge if you're battling, obviously. So that's a theory. It's a long-winded theory, but it's one of the things you can do with Curious and Grinder Golem. So, back to the rest of the deck. I think I'm going to move this trap to the side for going second, because this is much better going second. But when you use it as a trap, it's really, really bad. Its trap effect in general isn't very helpful, because you're just taking it till the end phase. That's what you kind of want a spell to do, not a trap. So using it on when you're going first, this thing's almost useless. But going second, it's insanely powerful. So that's something to keep in mind. I can't think of much else I want to change. There's no way hand traps will fit into this hunk of trash. There's just not enough things going on. And I think I explained this before, but the Dark Lord engine is only playing 1 Superbia because you have so many ways to send darks to your graveyard. And Superbia itself only does something when it's in the graveyard or in the hand with the Ixchel. Otherwise, it's useless. It's like the worst possible card you can have. So I just wanted to eliminate that idea. Like, you can eggshell other things too, like the traps, which is kind of better, and then you can revive Superbia, then that, and then use the traps. Or the spells if you need to. Yeah, I tried a few other things, like Foolish Burial Goods. It didn't do anything, even when you're like sending Fogblade to revive, or these to get like bonus effects. It didn't really do anything. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this really weird video. I'm going to work on this deck some more. I'm having a lot of fun with it, even though it doesn't really do anything weird or cool. Just does stuff weird that's sometimes impressive. So yep, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. And remember, Master DinnerFlax will take your soul.